This story takes place approximately 21 years ago. It takes place in Niagara Falls, Ontario, of which, if you've ever heard the urban legend of the Screaming Tunnels, the Screaming Tunnels urban legend was based around many different stories. The story that I was told when I was 14 years of age was that of a house on the hill. A house on the hill where a couple who often fought with one another had two small children. Well, one night they decided they would go out at night in the town, possibly to rekindle the broken relationship that they had, leaving their two children there. The children's age were approximately 10 and 8. At this time, the older child sought to make something for her younger brother, and while at home late at night, parents still hadn't come back, they decided to make something. Well, she forgot to turn off the stove. It was a gas-lit stove, so there was open flame, and what happened next was truly horrific. Suddenly, next thing you know, the parents are driving home. They see what seems to be a fire, as their house was on the hill. They raced home to find their house ablaze and on fire. Their two children running out on fire, running through the very tunnels, crying, screaming to get to water. They ran through the tunnels, screaming as they dropped at the very end of the tunnel, dead. Legend has it that if you go there and you light a match, the match will blow out and you'll hear a scream in the distance. That's where the story picks up. At this time, traveling to Ontario to visit some family, my father thought it'd be a good idea to take me and my uncle out to visit the Screaming Tunnels, place of urban legend. We went there that particular night, and driving down there, my uncle would often try and tell me scary stories to freak me out. This was one of those such nights. I heard the story of the woman who hacked her husband to pieces, among many others on the journey there. I remember the road being very dark, twisting. When we arrived there, it was extremely dark, and I didn't want to get out. In fact, I was scared and I was quite content to be inside the vehicle. Well, my dad and my uncle urged me that it'd be fine, and they were right there with me, and we were going to put it to the test. You see, I had always grown up watching scary movies, so I was very excited to see something truly real, perhaps something more than just a legend. And what happened there was truly frightening. I remember getting out. I remember it was the fall. You could hear leaves crunching beneath our feet as we walked towards this tunnel. Very dark. Well, once we got to the tunnel, I said, well, we're here. We've arrived. He said, no, we've got to go to the middle of the tunnel. I didn't want to go. Well, with much coercing and persuasion, they got me to come to the middle of the tunnel. And as we stood there, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. You could feel a strange presence there. You could feel a strange presence in that tunnel. I could almost feel something different there. Feel these spirits of these children, or a child, or something. It was very dark, very unsettling. At this time, my uncle fumbled around for his matchbox and sought to light a match. He went for the first one. It went out. He went to light a second one. It went out. No screams yet. Well, we couldn't feel much wind through this tunnel, surprisingly. He lit a third one. That third one stayed lit everything suddenly seemed to stop. The match went out, and we did hear a faint scream. In fact, it wasn't just faint, it was quite loud and terrifying. The scream of some small children in sheer pain. I don't think I've ran so fast in my life. I ran back faster than anything. In fact, I ran back so fast to the vehicle that I slipped and fell on the ground, just like out of a horror movie, as I tried to fumble my way into the door. Not caring whether they followed behind me, I sat there in the vehicle by myself, waiting for them to return, hoping, praying that they would return. Fortunately enough, they did. My uncle laughed about my fears, but I could see he was a bit chilled. The drive back, my dad and my uncle didn't really say much. I asked them lots of questions if they were just joking with me or anything like that, but I could tell based on the way they were acting that this was no joke. It wasn't until many years later that I read the story online of what had happened, and it truly still brings fear. The hairs on my back still stand up, knowing that I was down there where this tragic event took place, feeling the very spirits of the dead. The one lesson I learned that day is it's best to leave the dead in peace. Stay scared.
Make sure if you liked our video, please press the like button, and if you'd like to hear more chilling stories from the void, press the subscribe button.